Good morning, birds of a feather, and happy day after daylight savings time begins. Got my coffee in hand. So I got a message this morning from Haley Lemire asking about my Scentsy journey, and she's just kind of curious as to how I got started and how I built a team. And so I told her that I would make a short video. Well, no, it's not going to be short. Let's be real. But I would make a video to share with everyone just in case anyone else was curious about it. So I think several of you may know a little bit about my journey. You've been on it with me from almost the beginning, but for our newer teammates who are like, who is my superstar director? How did she get where she is? And maybe how can I get there? And maybe how can I get beyond there, right? I would love to share and help in any way. And maybe there's some tiny little nugget you could pull from it and maybe get inspired and maybe use it in your own business. So thank you for asking me, Haley. I think often we kind of tend to think our own journeys, our own stories aren't that exciting, aren't that great, so who would want to hear it? And so I'm very flattered that you were curious, and I'm more than happy to share sort of how I got started, how our team is where it is now, and then where I plan on taking us, and I plan on taking you all right along with me. So it's very timely, actually, that you asked, Haley, because my 9-year Scentsy is coming up. It's on the 21st of March. I can't even believe it. I remember having been in the business, just a couple years and meeting ladies who had done other direct sales for 9-10 years and thinking, oh my gosh, that's so long. I mean, I've never before, this is the longest job I've ever held, right? So it's crazy to me, but I absolutely love it. And so 9 years ago, almost March 21st, I joined Scentsy. And what had happened was I had a baby. I was 24 and I had my son, and I was so his dad was a painter, and so we thought if I could stay home for a year with him and do the stay-at-home mom thing, that would be great. And then, financially, probably I would need to go back to work, and then we'd figure out childcare from then on. So I was staying home with him. He was about 6 months old, and I got a call from my 3rd grade teacher, and she had talked to my mom and sister, and my mom and sister had told her that they thought I might like to do Scentsy. Now, I had a warmer. My mom had given me a warmer and would give me cubes. And I would have to call my mom and say, I need more cubes, because I didn't even know what it was called. It probably said it on the box, but I had no idea where to get. I didn't even have this packaging, right? I just knew I needed these cubes, and they came from my mom, and they made my house smell good. And I always loved candles and fragrance and things that smelled good. So I didn't really know what Scentsy was. I'd never been to a home party for Scentsy or for anything else for that matter. And the concept of direct sales, party plan, marketing, things like that was pretty, I didn't really understand it. I knew we used to hide from the Avon lady. And I knew I didn't want to be like that, right? So Kay calls me up and says, hey, your mom and sister think you'd be great at this because you're staying home and you love it. And so she told me all about it, all about the compensation plan and everything like that. And so I listened to her and I said, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. And so Elliot's dad and I talked about it, and we just kind of were we came to the conclusion that I would try it. I would give it a whirl, probably as more of a hobby. We thought worst case scenario, get a little bit of a discount on the bars that we were using, but didn't really, mostly I said to him, I'm never going to ask anybody to join my team. I'm just not going to do that. So, because I didn't want to be one of those people. And so anyways, and then honestly, this is a true part of it. So Kay calls me back. Well, it's all true, but Kay calls me back, and I probably wouldn't have called her. right? So this is where the follow-up is really key, because she called me in a couple days and said, hey, what do you think, or do you want to do it? And so partly because I couldn't hardly say no to Mrs. Diggins, my third grade teacher, and partly because I love the product, and partly because I was getting a tax return, because now we had a dependent child, right? So I actually got a tax return. I had the little bit of money to invest and start Scentsy. And so it was all kind of, those kind of three reasons is why I began, right? Couldn't say no to Kay, had extra money for my tax return, and just liked it and thought I would do it as a hobby. So I joined, and we got, I did my first launch party I did back in Belgrade, and where my parents live, and where I knew more people, and Kay helped and kind of came, and it was a great launch party, right? And actually at my launch party, someone wanted to join my team, and Kay gave her to me as my teammate. She's one of my mom's like 6 cousins or something like that. And so lo and behold, here I am, like first party, made certified consultant at it, and got a teammate, something I was never going to do. I think I made lead actually that kind of first month. And so I was like, okay, still didn't really know what I was doing, at all. But I loved it, right? I loved when my starter kit came. I was actually so mad at my mom for holding out on me of all of the greatness that Scentsy was. I was like, look at all these warmers, and look at all these scents that I can pick from, and it was amazing, right? Right up my alley. So I think we threw one party in Missoula where my friend Jerry came, and that might have I think that was when I met Jerry. So we had a mutual friend who knew right away that we would get along, and knew right away that we were going to be friends, but he needed to kind of get us together, right? So I am having this kind of like a couple Scentsy party at our house, and we invited Jerry and Joel, and they had 2 girls at the time, and another couple, and we did the smelling and the looking at the catalog, and it was really fun. And then Jerry and I became friends, and we hung out a lot, right? We hung out with our kids, and she was doing a different direct sales company at that time. And so we get now to June, and she was from South Dakota. She had just moved to Missoula. And so we get to June, and she did a basket party for me, and one of her basket party friends decided to join my team, and her name is Danny. And so then Danny decided to join my team and start doing Scentsy in South Dakota. And then Jerry sent me a text and said she wanted to do Scentsy too, and so she joined my team. So now I have 3 people on my team when I wasn't going to ask anybody, and I hadn't asked any of them. They had all just said, I want to join. So it was just kind of rolling then, right? So Jerry and I started doing we would drive around Missoula together and run into laundromats and drop off catalogs, and run into hair salons and drop off catalogs. And we were texting each other oh, I sent a sample up in the bank teller thing, and cheering each other on. So all that to share that I think that, when you are having fun and enjoying what you're doing, and you have a product and a business that other people can see value in, it's very easy for them to gravitate towards it and want to do it themselves. So that was great in getting my business off the ground. Now, my really good friend joining Scentsy with me, I will continue to preach forever, was the catalyst in my business success, because we were able to cheer each other on, encourage each other, motivate each other, push each other. Because let's just say we're we all have a little bit of competitiveness in us, right? And so it was well, I don't want her to out promote me, or I don't want she did it, so I can do it. So that was really huge, and that's one of the reasons why I always strongly encourage you to bring a friend along, because it's huge in creating fun and excitement and growth when you are doing Scentsy with some of your best friends. And so I think that sometimes people think that's backwards because they think, hey, my best friend's my biggest supporter, and if she joins my team, then I'm going to lose my sales. But that's not true. Your sales will grow if she's on your team with you and you're doing it together. So Jerry and I did the Western Montana Fair together, and we continued to do fairs together for years. And so then we're in the fall, right? And the fall, we all know, is kind of the selling season that's just like crazy, right? So we continue to kind of, build our teams and grow our businesses. And at some point, it became very evident to me that actually asking people to join my Scentsy team, the thing I never wanted to do, was my very favorite part of it, because doing Scentsy with friends is so much fun, and seeing it help their lives and be a help to their family is so rewarding. So as I continue on this Scentsy journey and continued on it, then it became very evident to me that, like, I have no idea what I'm doing, right? I was completely clueless. So even if you're completely clueless, you can learn. So I try to get on every single Tuesday training call that Scentsy offers. And so this was, when I was growing and learning, right? Try to get on every single call. Try to soak up every single opportunity to get education about how to do this business, because I came in with no experience. I had a team with no experience. I had, no idea what I'm doing. And so my advice to you would be to get on those training calls and learn from other consultants who are doing it. Any sort of training and teaching opportunity that you can get, do it, right? And learn from other, we would get on other superstar directors, training things that we could get on and listen to it and figure out, okay, what can I do? And then go do it, right? Because you can get on all those calls, but if you don't put to action anything that you learn, no change and no growth is going to come. So any of the Scentsy trainings that they would offer. So the first year I didn't go to Reunion that summer because I didn't get it. It was in Salt Lake, and no, it was in Boise. And Kay was like, you gotta come. And I was like, I'm not gonna spend, $150 and drive to Boise. And, I'm just not into that. I'm not into putting money into my business, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't go that first year. The next summer, it was in Salt Lake, and Jerry and me and my sister and a girl named Heather, we all drove down to Salt Lake from Montana. And it was absolutely like, oh my gosh, this training is amazing. Being around these other Scentsy consultants from all over the country is so inspiring and motivating, and hey, if she can do it, I can do it. And so hearing from Heidi and Orville was absolutely just inspiring. And so from then on, every single corporate Scentsy training that I can make, I'm going to, right? I'm going to Reunion every single year. Yes, it's an expense. Yes, it's a, time away from family. Yes, it's all of those things, but the return on an investment is so huge if you put to use what you're doing, what you're learning and soaking in. And so I think that the two reasons why I was able to build a Scentsy business is that I did it with friends who motivated and pushed me, and I took every single training opportunity that I possibly could. So, and trust me, I know it can be, you know, it's maybe just not possible, right? Like you don't have the funds to attend reunion, and that's okay. I'd encourage you, if it doesn't happen for you this year, to start saving and attend next year, you know, or when we have our little regional ones like World Premiere that we had, or anything. All of those little ones are so helpful. So I really think that those are the two reasons, because I'm just a girl from Montana with no direct sales experience. And you know, I have been able to sustain a Scentsy business as my full-time source of income for 9 years. So I know that if I can do it, you can do it. And I know that if all that it takes is the desire to do it and the will to keep going when things get hard, because you will be told no. You will be told, you know, that you will be told no by your friends. You will lose teammates who, you know, have a different, you know, life's taking them a different direction. Maybe Scentsy's great for them for a time, and then all of a sudden it isn't. And that, those can be really, really hard things to overcome. And, you know, when you think to yourself, gosh, what, am I really good at this? Should I really be doing this? Is this really what's right for me? It's important to have the will and the desire and the drive to keep going. And I think that that's why sometimes we talk about making sure you have a strong why, so that you know that it's, you know, where you're going, and that it's totally possible to build teams and be able to do Scentsy 100% full time. So I also think having a good team like we have is really important in that, you know, having the friendship and the support and the you know, hey, that happened to me and it's okay. We're going to keep going together because this Scentsy thing is amazing and this company is amazing, and Heidi and Orville have our backs 100%. Like, and so I think that, yeah. So with that, I see really, really big things happening for our Scentsy team. There is still so much room for growth, and like I said, or I didn't say this, but 9 years ago when I joined, I didn't even have a Facebook account. You had to have a college, I think you had to have a college email address to be able to have Facebook 9 years ago. And then it changed, thankfully, and so anyone can have a Facebook account now. But I remember I went to director boot camp in Boise in February, so I must have hit director that fall. And then we went to Boise for boot camp training from Scentsy. It's called director boot camp. It's just like training on being a director. And that's where I learned about Facebook, and that's where I set up my Facebook account and all that. Isn't that so funny? And now so much of Scentsy can be done from our phones, from our computers, and really, you know, with millennials, there's so much, like we learned at reunion, like the millennials are just the way, like they are going to take Scentsy and just explode it. And so in a good way, right? With great growth. And this company gives us all of the right tools to do it. The top of the line warmers for, like, let's just say an amazing price, right? Like, you look at the quality of our warmers, like, yes, they're more expensive than the warmers that you can get at Walmart, but the quality of them is worth so much more than they are actually charging. Like, our nightlight warmers that are $20 are glass and detailed and beautiful, and they're $20. So anyways, our company gives us all of the right tools to be successful. And the training too, like I was talking about, like all of the training is getting better. Scentsy's hired these amazing people who are excellent at what they do, and they are training us. So I am actually in a program right now, receiving training that I can share with you guys, and so that you can take it and grow your businesses. And that is my commitment to you. Again, like I said, like I am not good at this. I am not I don't know everything, but I am so willing to learn and so willing to help you and do this alongside of you so that you can build your businesses to fulfill your dreams and to reach every single potential and like thing that your mind could even grasp. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited that if you have the desire to take your Scentsy business further, if you have the desire to grow a team, if you have the desire to promote and learn and grow, you absolutely will. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for you, Haley, that you asked, because I think you are doing Scentsy right alongside your friends. You are growing your business, and you, girl, you have the desire. And so I know that you can promote to director and more. And so soak up all the knowledge that you can get. Anybody else, soak it up, put it to action, try new things. Because that's another part of it, right? Like getting out of that little bit of like a comfort zone. We all know the saying, like, that's where the growth happens, is outside of the comfort zone. And a lot of times it's just like trying one little new thing, and doing that over and over and over and over again, and you will see results and growth. And so anyways, I hope that kind of helps. I hope that that's what you were looking for. My journey is really simple. I'm just a girl from Montana who likes a house that smells good and likes doing it with her friends and family. And all of you who have now become my friends and family. So, yeah, that is part of my Scentsy journey and how we are where we are today. So thanks so much for listening, and we will talk to you soon.